Now, from the Low Country's news leader, this is Live 5 News.
Transitioning to a virtual classroom is hard enough for teachers and for students, but for those who are still learning English, it can be especially difficult.
Paula Tristan-Aruda tells us what the Charleston County School District is doing to help their English language learners. Paula, what has been the biggest challenges for those families?
Rolf, Lisa, access to technology has proven to be the biggest struggle for these students. Aside from helping them in that aspect, there's a number of people that play a huge role in helping these students, whether that's with internet, translating, or even delivering food to them. The Charleston County School District has about 3,500 students learning English. Their ESOL, or English for Speakers of Other Languages program, is designed to help those students and their families.
Our job is to provide support services to those students so that they're, while learning English, they are still able to learn the content that they are receiving in their classroom.
As teachers adapt to an online learning environment during the pandemic, ESOL teachers have also had to change up the way they talk to their students.
The program that I use, I can show them on the screen what they're looking at and teach them, still give them the instructions to make it visual for them.
The schools have also always used a parent advocate as a bridge between those families and the schools.
Specifically at this time, we're helping the families with internet access and getting iPads and Chromebooks to the families.
Schools all over the district have been giving out those tools to families that need them, but it's still been a struggle for students who may not know how to use it.
You also have students who, in our case at our school, that they come to the United States as teenagers, and in their country they've had very little exposure to education. So they have very little knowledge as to how to even turn on the Chromebook.
At a high school level, Royal says Stall High School has the largest ESOL population in the Tri-County, with Spanish being the main language. Although they're still trying to connect with some students, they say they're doing what they can.
Every time the kids came to pick up a Chromebook, we were sure that they would log in into the Chromebook. If it was a Hispanic kid or somebody, a Latino kid, there was a Spanish-speaking person sitting with them, be sure that they could log in.
The teachers say it's not just about the students' education, but also providing resources to the parents for what they need. Live in Charleston County, I'm Paula Tristan-Aruda, Live 5 News.
87,000 more people have filed for unemployment in South Carolina. The State Department of Employment says they've seen a more than 4,000% increase since March 14th. Between just Sunday and Tuesday of this week, the agency paid out $114 million in unemployment benefits. Those numbers showing just how much this pandemic is impacting businesses. I talked with some local businesses here who say they've had to make some pretty hard decisions.
It really hit me about a week before we shut down.
I've not seen anything like this where overnight had to shift our business model.
I still pinch myself every day that it's just not normal.
Those first couple days, were pretty scary.
Since COVID-19 hit, hundreds of business owners have been faced with the decision of dimming their lights or laying off workers. Dave Lawrence, owner of Mex One, had to temporarily let go of 95% of his staff.
This thing drags on for 3 months. I think restaurants and small business are really going to take a beating. So it's just going to be a matter of when we can get back to normal and what the new normal looks like.
Hall's Chop House employs nearly 1,000 people, not only in the Low Country, but all over the state. But Tommy Hall says they've managed to avoid layoffs thanks to the federal Paycheck Protection Program.
We did receive our money, we received our benefits. And I got to tell you, it was a very simple process, just like our leaders suggested it would be. And it took about 48 hours. We received all our money. And we're able to take care of all our employees' insurance and 401k, and all their benefits. And just like business was going as normal.
And that's welcome news for slightly north of Broad executive chef Russ Moore.
It was pretty huge that, we found out that, we were still going to get paid. Even though the restaurant was closed.
Lorenz is hopeful that the federal stimulus money will allow most of his staff to come back to work, even though the first round of funding has run out.
They knew that first $350 billion or whatever that number was not going to be enough. It's not a free-for-all, and you've got to be very specific on how you spend it, and it's about an 8-week process. So our question is, what happens at the end of the 8 weeks? If we're still not open in full capacity, what happens then?
In most other states, the number of employment claims are leveling off or are even dropping. Coming up in less than 10 minutes, our national investigative team takes a look at those numbers.
And here in South Carolina, Governor McMaster has ordered all public boat ramps to be reopened again tomorrow by noon. He had them closed back on March the 30th to help stop the spread of the coronavirus. He's still asking everyone, though, to socially distance, try to stay apart from one another still. As for the number of cases here in South Carolina, the state health department confirmed 276 more, bringing the total number statewide to almost 4,000. 109 people have died.
And many of you have called into the Live 5 newsroom asking about an update on how many people have recovered from the virus. Well, we reached out to the state health department and they tell us the people aren't required to update the agency or their health providers on their conditions, but they are working to put together recovery information.
And Governor McMaster says he will have a plan out next week meant to boost our economy. As for the U.S., President Trump unveiled his plans for reopening as he says that we've passed the peak of COVID-19 infections. He said all that in a phone call with governors today all across the country. The president went over the plan, which is broken down into 3 phases, with each one getting more relaxed on restrictions. He says governors can tailor the approach to their own state. And we spoke to Congressman Joe Cunningham today about getting South Carolina back in business. He says while he's ready to get the economy back and have everyone go back to work, it's still important to listen to the experts in the field to make sure everyone stays safe.
We all have a part to play in flattening this curve and stopping the spread of this virus. I hope that we're either nearing the peak or the backside of this, but I'm waiting to hear from the experts as to what type of impact social distancing is having. And from what I hear so far, it is making an impact, and it's making a difference.
And you'll remember the congressman actually contracted the coronavirus, experiencing mild symptoms. If you want to listen to that full interview, we have it up for you on our Facebook page.
Hey everybody, Chief Meteorologist Bill Walsh. We are social distancing, but bringing you your weather for this weekend coming up. We're going to talk about that, but right now, looking pretty good. Jacob, who is directing our broadcast, show them what we're talking about. Take a look at this live radar. Look at how quiet it is out there. It is very, very nice up and down the South Carolina coast. Overnight lows back into the 40s to near 40 back to King Street, 47 Monk's Corner, over to Goose Creek, about 46, 50 down to Folly Beach. So again, in the morning out the door, right around 50, 51 at 6 a.m. Plenty of sunshine at 8 o'clock, about 56 degrees. Yeah, we'll take that for sure. Now, coming up for us right here in just a few minutes, the next big weather thing, of course, your weekend forecast. And guess what? It could require a raincoat. We'll have more on that, so stick around.
It is a virtual day of giving to make sure people in our community don't go hungry. An update on how much you've helped us raise so far for the Low Country Food Bank. Right now, you still have time to donate money for hunger relief here in the Low Country. All day, our team and other local television and radio stations have been fundraising and standing united for the Low Country Food Bank. We just checked the new total, and it's up to more than $143,000. A big thank you to every one of you who've donated so far, and if you haven't, there's still time. Head to live5news.com and look for this story.
Well, we told you how unemployment claims here in South Carolina are still going up, but across the country, in most states, they leveled off or they're even going down last week compared to the week before. But the total numbers last month since the pandemic still staggering. Our national investigative team looks at those figures and the systems that are still backlogged. Here's Investigate TV's Lee Zurich with our COVID-19 tracker.
Carla Barrios works in the kitchen at a Florida restaurant.
But my hours were significantly reduced.
Instead of working 35 to 40 hours, I'm now working between 10 to 15.
Her restaurant shifted to takeout only 3.5 weeks ago. Facing reduced hours and pay, she started trying to file for unemployment.
Was able to successfully fill out the application. A couple days after that was when the website crashed.
Have you received a check?
No, not at all.
And you can't even log in to check on your status?
I just tried it yesterday and it was not letting me through. An error message would come up, or it tells you that there's too many people, or it crashes entirely and makes you start all over.
On Thursday, the federal government announced 13.5% of the workforce has filed unemployment claims. But experts wonder if that number is artificially low because of stories like Carla's.
My main concern with the numbers that we're seeing is whether or not that's actually the number of people applying, or if we're just measuring the system's capacity to process new claims.
In the past week, the state of Florida saw a 7% increase in unemployment claims. 169,000 last week, 181,000 this week. A sign people might be having trouble filing claims. New York saw a 15% jump in claims, Colorado 127%. But most states saw fewer claims this week compared to last. The darker colors in this map indicate states with large drops week to week, like Idaho 42%, Nebraska 39%, Ohio 30%. 20 million Americans have filed unemployment claims in the last 4 weeks.
The highest claim week before this crisis was a high of 682,000 in 1982.
One expert predicts the nation's unemployment rate will reach levels we haven't seen since the Great Depression.
We're definitely on our path to exceeding 20% easily by May.
And while numbers leveled a bit for claims the last couple of weeks, when you look back to the beginning of March, the comparison is jaw-dropping. States with 5,000 or 6,000% increases. People needing money to stay afloat.
Still expected to pay rent. We're still expected to pay our water bills, our electricity bills, and everything still has to be on time.
According to the Tax Foundation, many states are projected to run out of money to pay out those unemployment claims in a matter of weeks.
Now, your first alert forecast from Live 5 News.
Hey everybody, Chief Meteorologist Bill Walsh broadcasting here from the house because we are socially distancing. I hope you had a good Thursday. Great thanks, by the way, to all of you who helped with the Low Country Food Bank. We raised a lot of money today. That puts really food on the plates of folks that really can't afford it right now, and there are a lot of folks that are going to need some help, and we want to help, and we appreciate that. Let's start right now with First Alert, Super Doppler Max. Boy, it's been a beautiful evening. You see that sunset out there? I was driving back from the food bank. My goodness, just gorgeous out there. Looking at beautiful radar picture right there. No real weather worries. As we zoom on in, looks fine up and down the coast. Back over to the lakes. You got to like that as we check it out. Live picture out there. David Hay, by the way, directing tonight's broadcast. I thought it was Jacob. He did the earlier show, but David Hay, Clemson's #1 fan. I'm sorry I said that, David. Looking at Holiday Inn Riverview Skycam as we check out these numbers. 57 degrees right now. We get up to 69, which, by the way, is still trending below normal. We should be about 75 for this day of April as we check out the other numbers. Hanahan, 57, 62 over to Mount Pleasant. About 52 out toward Johns and James Island. Still on the beaches, some low 50s. Back to Walterboro. Pretty evening out there at about 50 degrees. Somerville, how you doing out there? Beautiful afternoon and evening now into the nighttime. Looks good there at 52. 50 out in Orangeburg. Kingstree looks like to be the cool spot. Mid-40s and some mid-upper 40s on the beaches. Now out the door, looking pretty fine, I think, as we make our way into tomorrow. We should see some sunshine, mainly dry, 58 to 59. A few clouds maybe increasing later in the day, but again, by lunch, we're looking at near 70 degrees, so it looks pretty good. If you've got an outdoor job for tomorrow, no problem weather-wise. It's going to be a nice-looking Friday. Maybe take that lunch out in the backyard or have a little picnic or something like that. All right, mostly clear, cool. Looks like the boat ramp's going to be open again, right? So we'll have to bring the boating forecast back. Looking good for the overnight and then for tomorrow. Here's the deal. We're going back to mostly dry weather. Next weather system is for Saturday, Sunday. You see that blue cold front out to the west. We have a couple of weather systems that are moving east. That means it could be a little wet for the weekend. So, again, as you take a look at your Friday morning, 6 a.m., looks pretty fine as we go hour by hour. Just a fair amount of sunshine through lunchtime and even into the afternoon, maybe a few clouds kind of mixing. So bottom line, our eyes on your next 24 hours for the overnight, clear and on the cool side. Friday, lots of sunshine, looks pretty good. And Friday night, clouds are going to increase a little bit as we head into the weekend. In fact, speaking of that, let's talk about weekend weather. All right, Friday looks good for tomorrow, 75, no problem. Saturday, looks like some showers could develop, especially as the day goes on into Saturday night. Sunday, Monday could be a little bit iffy. Could even see a few thunderstorms. 79 on Sunday. Monday, about 50% chance, 78 degrees. Both days could be wet. We'll keep an eye for maybe some stronger thunderstorms. Nothing that's going to look like last Monday at this point, but we'll continue to watch that. Then we stay in the mid-70s into Tuesday and Wednesday. So maybe a little weekend rain. Throw that in your planning and take the app with you 24 hours a day. We update that. And thanks to our iHeart radio stations, like our pal Rick Rush over at 103.5 WEZL and Y1025, also who worked with us today to raise money for the Low Country Food Bank, as well as our other Charleston television stations, all came together to raise money back to the, for the folks that need it. And that's just fantastic. All right, Friday's on the way, folks. Have a great day tomorrow. We'll keep up with you right here and on Facebook. Back to you guys.
It's been a pretty special birthday for one woman. Earlier this afternoon, people in the Limehouse Villas neighborhood came together to celebrate her. Michael Higdon was in Ladson and has more on how the surprise went over.
Well, it's quiet right now on Tuscany Court, but at 3 o'clock, all of the neighbors here in this cul-de-sac came outside to surprise Miss Devon. Devon Richardson is celebrating her 44th birthday today, and not only is it an unprecedented day because there won't be a birthday party, Miss Devon just officially recovered from the coronavirus. So to celebrate her neighbors came outside with signs, balloons, and a card, and among the presents, a cake, Twizzlers, and the hottest commodity, toilet paper. And I can tell you, Devon was definitely surprised, but so thankful.
It's awesome to know that you're appreciated and that we're so close-knit. So yeah, we look out for one another.
I mean, she's so lovable and I just love her. She always caring for people. She's a people person that really cares and gives a lot from her heart.
And her neighbors say Devon is such a blessing and they were just thankful they were able to honor her. Reporting in Ladson, I'm Michael Higdon, Live 5 News.
Somerville Medical making sure their patients can still connect with their families. The hospital, like many others, has a no visitor policy because of COVID-19. So staff created carts with video conferencing technology. They then help patients set up video chats with family members. The hospital has 5 carts for the medical and surgical unit along with the intensive care unit. If you know someone or a group of someone's making the Low Country a better place during this difficult time, you can let us know on live5news.com. Go to the homepage, click on Low Country Strong, and fill out the form. You might see them featured right here on Live 5 News.